Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Roblox reaction. Today we have Kyrie. I've already listened to Alazon, I've listened to 1159, and I kind of skipped past this one to get to another song, but we've wrapped back around, and Trollpoo wanted me to get to this one, as did a lot of other people, so here we are, and I suppose without further ado, let's go! I did re-listen to the other two, because I wasn't sure if I would have any motifs or anything that I might recognize, so I wanted to make sure I was fresh on those two songs, but so far it sounded like it'll be its own thing, maybe. Ooh. There's that dip, though, from 1159. Not exactly the same thing, but ooh. I like the layering in there. It's a nice like delay. Wait, that's actually a really... I kind of love that, actually. Oh. That's a really fun melody. It's very playful. Which honestly kind of contrasts the rest of what we're hearing, so that's neat. The organ is a very nice touch in here too. Just adding a little bit of that imposing energy. It's getting more busy in here now. The dissonance was really palpable in that section. Really leaning into that sound and making sure things are broken up and kind of confusing. Ooh. Nice chord shift there. I don't know if they did that earlier, but I didn't hear it. It's letting that ride out there too. Just solid. Neat. Well, that was completely different. So all three of them were very different songs, not necessarily tied together in any way. I wasn't sure if that was going to be the case, but I really like that they're separate things, honestly. Okay, so I just went back to listen to Alazon just because, like, something was bugging me, and I couldn't figure out exactly what it was, but I think it's the fact that they are similar to each other. Both Kyrie and Alazon are very similar, but not the same by any means. If anything, I would say that Alazon is like an evolution of what Kyrie was putting on the table. There are definitely some melodic similarities in there, especially in, like, the second fourth of Alazon that were like basically pulled directly from Kyrie, or at very least each other. I don't know which one technically would come first. I would assume based on the names, Kyrie came first, then Alazon. That would totally make sense. And it kind of starts with the whole chant of Kyrie Alazon too, which I talked about in that video, being Lord have mercy, a kind of a pleading for that to happen, like please, Lord have mercy. And this song had just a lot more of that sentiment in there. It feels like this is more of the calm before the storm, where Eleison is the storm. So it gets way more hectic, way more involved, and just changes genre. There's so much more going on. But this is where it all started, in my opinion. Again, I'm not sure how accurate that is, but it definitely feels pretty appropriate. So that's what I'm going to roll with for now. Either way, I really like this song because there's plenty of dissonance in there. Like, for example, during the Kyrie Eleison parts in this, the vocal parts, there's a lot of crunching going on in those notes. There are notes that are very dissonant with each other, a lot of minor shifts in there that just do not work with each other. That doesn't exist in Eleison when it like first starts and we hear the Kyrie Eleison in that song. It's normal chords. It's the expected chord experience where all of the notes are kind of working together. For this one, there's a lot more, I don't know if I would call it abstraction to it, but just in general dissonance to it, where it's sounding a little bit more not just pleading but almost broken. It's an entirely different emotional approach to that sentiment. This feels like a pleading for the Lord have mercy, and the one at the beginning of Eleison feels more like the Lord have mercy even though we know we deserved this. You know, like it goes away from being a sentiment of please be kind to yeah, fuck us, I guess. And not just in melodic dissonance or harmonic dissonance even, you're getting a lot of rhythmic dissonance in this song. That was really cool too, because it's all that echo. It's creating room, having all of those like repetitions of the same notes, just just constantly going throughout the song, which, like I said, gives a lot of room to the sound, but also it makes it feel stagnant, like there's kind of like time is stopped in a way. And that, as a compositional trick, is super neat too, especially when you're matching that to all the other dissonance going on. And you can't really tell where the end of that is because it's so consistent all the way through. Every single chunk of this song has something going on with that. And if it doesn't, it's pleading for Lord to have mercy. So there's basically two sides to the song, which is a big space with not really much going on other than stagnation. And it's just settling into that. And it's almost uncomfortable to an extent, because you don't know where that's going to go next or if it ever will go. And then the pleading for their lives to be spared, which is an entirely different sentiment. So it's almost like you're stuck in this purgatorial liturgical malfeasance. That was a lot of big words. I'll put like definitions on screen for those of you who don't know what those are. My bad. Anyway, but it's just that. Like, that's the sentiment that I'm getting from this song. And just like I said, when you move into Eleison, it's almost like you finally understood the reason that you're there, and it's not a good one, and you have to come to terms with that. And it ends up being a lot more serious in tone once you get there, because there's a lot riding on the begging for help in this section. So this is really cool with how much room there was in general, again allowing you to feel that emptiness around you while nothing is moving and everything is very, very static, before leading back into that pleading. And then you're not entirely sure what's going on. You again had that, like, the pressure of the organ. And for those of you who don't know the importance of an organ in a song, usually it's there to signify scale or give something a general importance that's just, you know, laboring over you. And you're just like, oh, Jesus Christ. It's that sort of thing that makes you feel that pressure in the moment. And while this was definitely more subtle because the organ was underneath everything, it was not a huge part of the song. It's that ever wavering uncertainty of when is that presence going to push itself to the forefront. And I think that is where Eleison comes in. So this is really cool. Now being able to piece together all these things. I might have done it a little bit out of order. Again, I'm not entirely sure which one comes first, but I'm just assuming based off the names that this one would be number one and Eleison would be number two. But whatever order they're supposed to show up in is kind of irrelevant to just how good they are as individual songs and what they can do and teach you about the world and the situation, all just within themselves. So as standalone tracks, phenomenal, all put together. And now, like, hearing that and placing everything, and again the dip in this song, which might have been used again for 11:59, I'm not sure if that was intended or not, but it was in here, so I'm thinking that's pretty cool if that was supposed to be what they brought back there. But I digress. Really fucking cool glad to have heard all these now. I'm sure there's going to be more songs from Nectigonus that people are going to want me to listen to, especially stuff from DEEPWOKEN, but I also know I have to get to other games and such too, so we might take a little bit of a break on DEEPWOKEN stuff so I can get to other topics and other games, but I'll leave a lot of that to you guys down in the comments. If you want me to get to another DEEPWOKEN song like really bad and it gets a very high amount of likes, I'll just do that one. But if there's something else you want me to hear from a different game in Roblox, by all means drop it down in the comments below and I will do my best as always to get to those. Or if you just enjoyed this video and you want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!